All right. Hey guys, welcome back to the Underground. This is Interactive Chat Volume 55, and I am back, baby. We back. Let's go. Been away for a little bit, on a little bit of a vacation. Needed to unplug and wanted to hit the new year strong. And yeah, man, hope everyone's been doing well out there. Hope you had a lovely new year, great holiday, all those things. Man, for those who don't know, this is our weekly, every single Thursday, rain, shine, not when I'm on vacation, Solo Man podcast where we talk about everything, news, reviews, discussions, announcements, all the things PSVR2 related. And boy, oh boy, do we got some stuff to talk about today. And man, I missed y'all, man. I missed y'all. Like I said, hope you've been doing well out there and having a good time playing your PSVR2s. For everyone that got a PSVR2 over the holidays, welcome. Join our community. It's the best community ever. And stay informed on everything going on with our lovely, lovely next-gen headsets. Got a bunch of stuff to talk about, but first, of course, is interactive chat. I like to interact with you guys and say, what is up to Blue Jew, the Underground Game Cat? This one. Mark Smith in the house tonight. What up, Salvador? Let's go. Little Ringer Jr., Q the Cat. What's up, man? Good to see you. Silver Nexus, holla. Melchiah the Soul Reaving Game Cat. Hope your thing went well, man. Let me know. Hope you're doing okay. Hey, Dizzle, faux shizzle in the hizzle. What is up, homie? Good to see you over there. What up, my dude? Herb, the 247 Game Cat. Yo, Kill Artist, Mark, Poppin', Pringles Leaf. Good to see each and every one of you. That's right, we are back, baby. And we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. We've got some new games. There's a lot of news to get caught up on. There's some new games that got announced. Bulletstorm released today. There's a New Year's sale, which we're going to, of course, go through, and I'll give you the thumbs up, thumbs down for each and every single one. And then, of course, we've got the big news. A big, precious game of ours has been raking in that dough. And man, gee, it's almost as if not releasing a broken, unfinished, rushed cheap port can be profitable, mega profitable. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thought that people like to buy stuff that's good and has a lot of care and is a good product? News to me. I've never thought that in my life. But anyways, man, what is up, guys? And we're about to kick off the news, but first I got a couple of quick announcements. First of all, thank you to all these lovely, fine people here that support me on Patreon, patreon.com/PSVR Underground. Really appreciate your support. I really want to do some more content on there for you guys, exclusively for you. Thank you to everyone always who donates. Thank you to the mods. Your support has really been helpful over the years, and I hope it continues and grows and we grow together and have a great time. Lastly, if you want to get a discount on some PSVR2 lenses, which I highly recommend doing, then you can get a discount on the ones that I use every single day with my PSVR2, and that is VR Rock lenses, which you can go to their site, type in the code AJPSVR, and get a discount. So again, appreciate all of you guys' support. Now, I think it is time to kick things off and talk about some news. Also, I got one more announcement. This Saturday returns the fan favorite, I've been taking a break from it for a while, but we're going to be bringing back Saturday night live streams, viewers' choice. This Saturday, it comes back, y'all. So get ready. I've always loved this thing. You know, I just randomly thought of it one day. I thought it'd be a really cool community project or community stream to have some fun with you guys. But most importantly, we get to play some games, get to live stream some games, have some fun together. You get to torture me with some awful picks, or you get to just, I'm basically at your mercy. This is going to be the 99th episode of Viewer's Choice this weekend. So cannot wait. And I'm thinking for episode 100, I might do something special, and I might bust out the old PSVR1, and perhaps for the 100th episode, might do a PSVR1 stream, maybe a hybrid. Maybe I'll choose a couple PSVR2 games, choose a couple PSVR1 games. But I haven't used my PSVR1 since PSVR2 came out, almost a year now. Cannot wait to do that. I look forward to seeing you guys Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Bring your picks ready. Right now it's first come, first serve, but I might start doing a community post through earlier on in the week, and maybe randomize some picks, so it gives everybody kind of a chance who can't be there. I'm thinking about maybe trying a new form of picking games for that. So you guys let me know if you got any good ideas, or if you like what's already there. Do let me know. And of course, cannot wait for that. And yeah, man, of course, just came back from a nice vacation. I couldn't stay away completely. I had to play a little bit of PSVR2 because I can't stay away for that long. And I also just released my top 20 PSVR2 games list. I really wanted to come back and have a special video. I want to get back into, releasing edited videos, nice produced, polished videos. And I'm getting all the rust off, man. We're getting all the rust off together. It's a new year, time to get started and back to work. Going to be an exciting year for sure. And yeah, man, I really appreciate everybody who watched, supported, enjoyed the top 20. And let me tell you, man, I've done a lot of top 20s, a lot of top 25s, and usually they're pretty easy for me. I mean, they're never really easy because there's a lot of thought that goes into it. But I gotta say, man, with this library that the PSVR2 has, this was possibly the hardest list I've ever had to come up with, and really, like, I feel good about it. There's some things where I'm like, yeah, maybe I could swap this, maybe I could swap this, especially when it comes to the top 3, because those are extremely difficult. They're vastly different. They all offer something different. And ultimately I just kind of went with, I kind of did a science behind it to try and pick, and I feel good about it, man. I feel good. And it's just, to me, it's looking at that list, there's a lot of games that got left off of the list as well. And to me, that's just a testament to how many good games there actually are. So maybe even next time, I might even expand it to 30. I don't even know. I really want to narrow it down to only have like the best of the best of the best. But I feel like there's room for more. I feel like when you're leaving off some good games like Synth Riders, which, by the way, is getting a new music pack next week. Breaking news already. That's right. A new Synth Riders pack is coming out next week. We don't know what it is yet, but that'll be exciting. But yeah, man, so many good games. It was a lot of fun making that video, so really appreciate everybody who watched and supported. I actually wanted to do that. I usually do that video towards the end of the year, but I just didn't get around to it. That was part of the burnout, and I needed a break, and so I just said, whatever. Don't let views control you. Just do what you love to do and have fun doing it. Scott, the PSVR Game Cap for Life, says, talking about good games, just been playing RE4 and it's amazing. I tried Galaxy Kart, pretty good. Dude, RE4 is amazing. I mean, it is awesome that we ended the year with arguably the best PSVR2 game was the last big game that we got. I love that PSVR2 had a really strong start and a really strong finish. And I hope this year, finishes really strong too. And I think that could be a kind of a pattern we see where, I think PSVR2 obviously is only going to get better as the years go on. But we're still not out of that initial hump of the launch where developers are, still like games are kind of getting released right now in states that they really shouldn't be. And I hope we get past that, to say the least. I mean, I think when you're trying to make money, when you're trying to sell a product, that product should be good, and should be very polished and should be very nice. And guess what happens if you do that, developers? You make it the money. You make it the money, and you want to make it the money. I know it's a smaller market, but shit, why are you making that your income revenue even smaller? Like, that's a bad decision. And we'll get into that a little bit today as we talk about Bulletstorm. But yeah, man. Mark Smith, I'm going to be also today, guys, I'm going to be just kicking back. I'm going to be interacting with you a bunch today to celebrate being back from vacation. We do have some news to talk about, but I also want to just kind of, just wing it a little bit, have some fun, go with the flow of what we're feeling and feeling about talking about. Silver Nexus says, you're a fun gamer to watch play. Thank you. You guys are fun robot voices to have in my ears while I play. Robert the Game Cat says, let's get ready to dread halls. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but that's very true. I fully expect for the 100th episode of Viewer's Choice that I can only imagine that Dread Halls is going to get picked. And I got to be honest, I don't miss that game. If you think I'm playing when I say that game freaks me out, it causes me stress, I'm pretty sure that game caused me lots of mental damage over the last few years. But it was worth every second, let me tell you. I had a great time with it with you guys. Thank God Cosmo Dread's not as scary, because otherwise I feel like that's going to get picked, but no. Mark Smith says, hey, can I still upgrade my Chapter 1 Saints and Sinners by purchasing the DLC? I have the physical complete edition, so I have to buy the DLC? Oh, well, I guess. I am not sure. I'd have to look into that. I'm sorry. What is up, Duck Alerts? Good to see you, man. Game Cat Chicago, you rock. No, you rock. Scoby Man says, Ancient Dungeon, AJ, best hidden gem of late. Yeah, I've played some Ancient Dungeon. It's pretty good. The graphics and stuff don't really bother me. A lot of people say it looks like Minecraft. I think to me, it looks a little bit more like a retro game. And so I like that about it, because quite frankly, I don't like Minecraft's graphics. I never have. I'm not like the biggest graphic snob, but I also like a creative art style, and it works for what it is, and works for the game engine, and the way it can build upon it and everything. But it's never really worked from like a standpoint for me. Like if something's not going to have high graphical fidelity, to me, it can make up with it with a good art style, something like Super Hot or I don't know, Synapse or something. I mean, Synapse is pretty good graphics, so maybe that's not the best example, but Super Hot is. Let's see here. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get into the news. Oh, well, real quick, shout out to Game Cat Chicago. Says, guys, I fell in love recently. My secret, I found a woman who digs VR. Hell yeah, man. Me too, homie. Right here. That's the best, man. I at one point in my life said, I will never date somebody that does not play video games. Like after having all sorts of relationships and stuff, once I found somebody that plays video games, I was like, yes, this is what I need in my life. And then I found somebody that plays VR games, which is even better. So super happy about that. Yes, indeedy Petey. Your Long Shadow says, give us a dragon to ride and the graphics will be excused. I agree. Good point. I can't wait. I've been wanting to play Skyrim so bad. Silver Nexus, thank you, says happy 2024 feels with PSVR Underground and Game Cats. Thanks, man. Thank you for the donation, man. Appreciate your guys' support as always. Y'all the best, man. All right. So really, your support helps me so much. I may have a job to support myself, but this is very time consuming, and every little bit helps. You have no idea. So thank you. All right, guys. So let's kick off the news. We've got a couple different things going on here. Lots happening. This is, of course, we're rapidly approaching the 1 year mark of PSVR2. Right now it's a little bit of a quiet period, as it usually is. But you got to imagine that come February 22nd, which is the day that PlayStation VR2 released, that Sony might have something planned for PSVR2. It would be nice. It wouldn't surprise me if it's something like a PlayStation blog, but I'm really looking forward to that. We may get some announcements, which would be really, really cool. And I'm secretly stalling right now to pull up a thing so I can get a date on this something here. Oh, where the hell is it? Hold on. Okay, I found it. Excellent. Okay, so let's go ahead and kick off the news. And that is Breachers and Bhaptics support is officially coming to PlayStation VR2 this May. I actually got this from Eric Masher over with Q2C. And of course, he is sometimes a host on Virtual Strangers. Really great dude. Highly recommend you give him a follow. But Bhaptics Vest, I remember, I think a couple years ago, some people were asking about, will Sony make a expand on the accessories for PSVR2, like a new aim controller, something like that? What do you think they're going to have? And what I mentioned was, well, most likely a third party will get involved and get some kind of haptics vest support, haptic suit support, whatever. And now it is officially happening, and Breachers is going to be the first game. Good game, by the way. Not a next gen blow you away kind of game, but just really solid, fun gameplay, which is fine by me. So Breachers will be the first game, and Eric Masher confirmed that on Twitter and says it is coming in May. So this May. I'm going to have to get me one of them Bhaptic suits and let y'all know how it is. I'm interested in this thing, especially for I think it works to me. One thing I really liked about some first person shooters with Pavlov and some other ones is the headset rumble, like getting shot in the head. You get that little buzz, a couple other things. So, I hope that this is the start of more integration into it. While the Bhaptics is cool, one game is not going to be enough to warrant a purchase. So because I imagine it's a pretty expensive thing, as Looper points out, says it's not cheap. Yeah, I'm sure it's $200, maybe even more. These vests are not usually very cheap. So, but the important part is that this is the beginning. So if it's good and if it gets lots of support with different games, I mean, I would replay Resident Evil Village in a heartbeat to have the Bhaptics thing. And then I'd put on the vest and then go get eaten in the basement of House Benevito and just see what that feels like. Just get swallowed whole. Have you ever done that, by the way? If you've never done it, if you're in the basement of House Benevito in Resident Evil Village, there's something that comes out. Just let it eat you. Just let it happen. Just let it eat you, because it's super cool, and I would love to do it with maximum immersion. Let's see here. uh Bad Robo, that's funny. um Scott also says, yeah, AJ, I also tried Crossfire today. Effing amazing, apart from when my left arm disappeared and I couldn't reload. Yeah, that's a weird one. Crossfire Sierra Squad is amazing. I absolutely love that game. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Pietrek F with the $11.99 donation. Thank you so much, my friend. Says, have feeling zero Sony first party games this year. Where's the faith, homie? Where's the faith? No, I mean, you know, I don't know about first party. And again, this is going to be a really interesting time because Jim Ryan is leaving in March, I think, and there's going to be a change in leadership. That's going to cause a delay in some projects. That's going to cause a delay in the direction that Sony is going to be going. Right now, there's rumors circulating that possibly Eric Lempel could take over, and you know, he's shared his thoughts on PSVR and PSVR2, and he's called it a quote challenging category. But he did also say that it's selling well. It's just that the market is not as big as they thought it was going to be by this point. Yeah, so listen, there will definitely be, I don't know about first party. I mean, those have obviously proven to be the big system sellers, the killer apps. There's other ones, of course, but really what gets a lot of people's attention are the Sony first party titles. Gran Turismo 7 is really the big one. Of course, Horizon Call of the Mountain as well. A great starting game for a lot of players. It's really, really impressive. But I think Gran Turismo 7 is like the prime example. That is the best Sony first party title on PSVR2 right now. And quite frankly, as I said in my top 20 video, it's literally the most immersive experience I've ever had in my life. It's one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in gaming. And yeah, I am totally with you. I want to see more. And I think with the success of Resident Evil 4 recently, seeing all the buzz around that, and I certainly tried to spread the word on Twitter and stuff, like, you know, this is what we want ultimately is, you know, the non-VR games converted to VR, but then feel like they're built from the ground up for VR. I know it's easier said than done, but it has been proven. I mean, it has been proven that it can be done. And there's also other things happening, like this Unreal Engine VR mod stuff that looks awesome. That looks really, really cool. And, you know, that's maybe getting some buzz going as well. Now, of course, like I've said before, if you have the ability to create a AAA built from the ground up for VR game that is equal in content and quality as a first party non-VR game, that's what's going to be your biggest thing. That's why that's why like something like Half-Life Alyx is so successful. You know, that's going to do it. But obviously that's a very expensive, risky project to do. And we're going to just have to keep building their way up there. So I think in the meantime, I have always said, I think the best way to bridge that gap is to keep building, keep slowly growing the VR ecosystem, keep building upon it, getting headsets out there, and releasing one of these first party games or something from time to time will, you know, get whatever sells. Sony has one big problem. Actually, VR has one big problem at this point, and it just needs to sell more, which is a big problem. But it's, again, like I said, Eric Lempel from Sony said that it's selling well, so it's not like a failure or anything. It's just they got ahead of themselves a little bit with where they thought the market was going to be and how much it was going to sell. So things might get dialed back a little bit. But let me tell you, my friends, I know firsthand that Sony are definitely investing in different third-party developers. They are reaching out, working with people, and they are trying to invest and get, you know, if it's not first party, they're still talking with you know, bigger studios, bigger companies trying to get games made. So I have a feeling this year we'll get at least some of that news, or we'll get some of those games. But yeah. Duck Alert Beats says, I keep my PSVR1 hooked up for games like Astro Bot and Dreams. Can't see it going anywhere for now. Yeah, I will never. Well, first of all, I don't get rid of any system or any game that I have ever after getting rid of my old retro collection. I learned my lesson the first time. So yeah, I keep everything. I've got, I mean, you can see I've got all my boxes up in there, all my boxes up in there. And I'll be keeping and holding on to that shit for a while. Speaking of risks, that was risky to do and mess up my camera, but I had to show you my lovely closet of game boxes. Oh, man. But anyways, guys, we got more news to get into, so let's get to it. There's been some new game announcements, and I wanted to run through these real quick and take a look at them together. And one of those is a new game that's upcoming that showed up on the PlayStation Store called Big Shots. Now, this is a mech game, which is something that I really, really want as somebody that has always loved mechs and mech games. At least, you know, there's been a couple of certain ones I really like, you know, even though it's not really a mech game. I mean, I did like Killzone 3. The mechs in that were pretty sweet. Of course, the original, the classic Mech Warrior. There hasn't been, I've been actually kind of surprised that there haven't been more mech games in VR. But I'm glad to see that there's a couple starting to pop up here and there. There's one also coming out that I'm really keeping my eye on, called Iron Rebellion, that looks really good. But this one is coming soonest. So we're going to take a look at this one. Let's head over to, oh yeah, Titanfall. Dude, Titanfall 2 was amazing. That's one of those games where I was like, we need Titanfall 2 in VR. It doesn't get mentioned enough. I'm also a huge fan of the Lost Planet series, which has really, really fun mechs. Mechs versus giant monsters. What's not to love? But let's go ahead and take a look at the store description for Big Shots VR, see what we can expect here. Supports up to 2 online players with PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus is required. It is it looks like a game that you can play sitting down. I'm sure you can stand as well, but it's a good sitting game, which is nice. Sometimes after a long day of work, you want to just sit down, and if the game can be structured in a way to make that immersive, keep the immersion, even better. It says, take back our gosh darn planet. An experiment gone wrong unleashed a relentless alien invasion, plunging humanity into chaos. Price Inc. initiated the Big Shots initiative to fight the invaders. This is where you come in, rookie. Become a big shot and take on the pivotal role of an alien exterminator. As you gear up and evolve your mech, you'll venture deeper into infested areas in search of the source of all this mayhem. This game will have cross-platform co-op, or you could play it solo. So solo or cross-platform co-op. So if you got friends with Quests or PC VR headsets, whatever, you can play with them as well, apparently. Exterminations can be done solo or side by side with a fellow big shot. When teamed up, working together is key to holding off alien scum and getting the job done. Cross-platform play is supported, so none of your friends will be left out. Pretty cool stuff there. Build your ultimate mech. Evolve your humble mech with upgrades during runs, becoming the ultimate alien exterminator in your crazy roguelite adventure. So it is, shocker, another roguelite. Explore the possibilities and combinations from the upgrades presented to you, or change your loadout with the permanent upgrades that you can acquire in the shop back at the hangar. Unlimited mobility. Big Shots is a fresh take on the popular wave shooter and roguelike genre in virtual reality. Take advantage of our innovative movement system to move around freely in a swift, immersive, and comfortable manner. No more standing in predefined positions or being restricted by teleportation, but unlimited mobility and opportunities at your disposal. So, they're saying some things here that are typically not the most exciting things, to be honest with you. But to me, there's a little bit of a difference here. When you mention roguelite, I mean, it's just, we've had a lot of roguelites lately. We've said before, roguelites would be the new zombie games if zombie games still weren't dominating and everywhere. But, you know, we know zombie games are typically fun. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. So they kind of get away with it. But there is some fatigue there. Roguelites are starting to become that new thing. Roguelites can be fun as long as they're deep. As long as they're deep, like what's it called? The Light Brigade. You know, it has been proven that as long as it has the content, it could be good. And I do like, now what I do like here, and what I do think kind of works here, is that when you're facing down waves of aliens, I feel like you can kind of get away with being a roguelike wave shooter kind of thing there. You can. Not necessarily guarantees, far from guarantees it being good. But I'm liking what I'm seeing here, and I need a mech game, and there's co-op, and it could be some fun here. If the gameplay is fun, I do like that you can upgrade your mechs. That's pretty cool. Art style wise, it looks okay. You know, it's got that kind of almost like a cell shaded look to it, which is fine. I mean, as long as it is, if it looks like this, as long as it's sharp and crisp and colorful and vibrant and smooth frame rates, then it can get away with this. But if it's gonna look like this, but like a last gen game, that's not gonna work out so well. Samson 143 VR, thank you so much for the donation. Says just starting now, catch up to live soon. Good luck. Good to have you back, and hope you're well rested. I am very well rested, my friend. I've recharged the batteries and got rid of that burnout that I was going through, where it was just preventing me from doing anything. So yeah, really excited to be back. And yeah, in case you missed it, Saturday Night live streams are also returning. Stingray X, good to see you, man. Old Darth Headbite. Yo, what is up, guys? Chibi M. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Mzadi, yay. Welcome back. Good morning to you, Mzadi, in the future. GameCat Behemoth. Yeah, thank you for the donation. And it's good to be back, man. Happy to be back and talking about PSVR2. But yeah, man, so this game, do we have a release date on this? I think, I don't know when this is scheduled to be coming out, but I think it's within the next, should be expected within the next few months. Could be fun, smaller little fun title. If it's priced appropriately, then all good. But didn't get a chance to cover it yet, so I wanted to talk about it because, again, I love mechs and I want more mech games in VR. And I hope this is the first of many. There was another game that was kind of recently announced, and it's actually coming out fairly soon. It's between now and next month, I think. Maybe next month. But it is a Doom-inspired game, which I'm a big fan of Doom. You know, Doom, unfortunately, one thing that I think has kind of hurt VR a little bit, and this isn't like a direct, this wasn't like an intended direct result of this, but it's more just like an effect of Microsoft, you know, purchasing basically every company out there, is that we've lost Doom. You know, we've lost our chance for a Doom Eternal. We lost our chance for, you know, Doom remakes, a classic Doom's remade in VR. Along with plenty other IPs, with them not getting into VR anytime soon. So I wanted to give a little love to Dead Hook VR, which is a Doom-inspired game by the Stride developers, Joyway, and it looks pretty cool. It's obviously takes every single big page from the Doom franchise, big, hulking monsters, visceral looking shooting, violent gore, aliens, all these things, dark kind of style to it. And there's something that's new though, is the game is called Dead Hook, and it's got these like hooks on that you can actually swing and grapple with. This was a mechanic that was in Doom Eternal that was pretty cool. So keeping my eye on this one. I think we are supposed to get review keys at some point in the near future, but we'll keep you posted as soon as possible. But really, really looking forward to this. I love fast-paced shooters like this. They're a lot of fun, man. And yeah, I mean, this looks a lot. I'm like watching the footage as I'm talking here, and I'm like, the more I look at it, I'm like, this is definitely a Doom clone in VR. But hey, you know what? We need more Doom clones. What has happened with my camera here? Yeah, and some people have played it already. I think it has been out on Quest. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and go real quick. Let's take a look at the there's Eric Masher. Let's take a look at the Dead Hook page. Dead Hook is an explosive mix of roguelike, another roguelike, and shooter genre with brutal combat and captivating storytelling. Really? Captivating storytelling in this? I will be the judge of that. Explore the elder planet Razaract and take on the role of Adam Stone. Adam Stone, bro. A mercenary, smuggler, thief, and devoted husband. That's a weird... Okay. Anyways, find legendary weapons and customize your characters with 100 buffs and permanent upgrades to make each run unique. Experiment with different strategies and tackle the challenges that await you in the game. Every angel of death needs worthy opponents. Regular and elite infernals will try to stop you in the air and on the ground to defend their tombs. Bosses are also uniquely designed and have multiple phases, making each encounter feel tense. So there are boss fights in this, which is very, very good to hear. You know, we love our boss fights around here. Literally one of the reasons that, Resident Evil games are so high up on my list is because they always have like just such amazing boss fights all the time. The game's storyline adds another layer of depth to the gameplay experience. You will embark on a journey to uncover the secrets of Razaract and AI duality, facing tough choices and unexpected twists along the way. So that's a little unexpected. I was not expecting to hear that there was anything story related in this. I'm not going to put a lot of money in that until I play it. To me, this just looks like really good kick-ass gameplay, and I hope it's enhanced a little bit for PSVR2. Stride, if I recall, Stride looked pretty good at launch on PSVR. Usually, I think with Joyway, this is their first game they're bringing to PSVR2, so they typically port the PC version, which is better looking. This right here, I think, is Quest 2 beta footage, by the way, so... Or it's like Quest 2 footage. So hopefully we get an updated trailer or something and some better updated visuals. I'm with you, Imzadi. Imzadi says, I'm sick of roguelikes. Let's get some new RPGs going with great crafting and dargons. I'm totally with you. I am starving for RPGs. I am totally starving for RPGs right now. Mark Douse, we're going to cover the sale at the end, at the final segment of the show, so we will talk about it some. Yeah, I mean, Jason Voorhees says roguelikes are this gen's wave shooter. Yeah, to be fair, roguelikes are much better than wave shooters, though, so there's that. They are similar, but I think roguelikes are fine as long as they have the content for them and the depth. The more content and depth they have, the better usually. But yeah, they can get a little repetitive. It's kind of a way. I think I'm definitely okay with roguelikes over wave shooters because at least these have some kind of replay value. They do typically have some kind of variety or depth to them in terms of like, upgrading and stuff. So Funnily enough, though, we haven't seen a lot of really like deep roguelikes. One that I'm looking forward to this year is definitely Hellsweeper. I know Hellsweeper launched last year, but I pretty much refused to play it. But it is supposed to be getting that patch sometime in Q1, and I'm basically treating Hellsweeper when it gets the update. You know which one I'm talking about, like the one we've been waiting for. I am definitely going to be treating that as if it is launching for the first time, because I held off for that. Let's see here. All right, guys. So those are some of the upcoming games. We did get a new look at Madison VR, which is also upcoming. We're gonna have to wait and see how that is. You know, as much as I want to be excited about Madison VR, and I'm also very cautious because, quite frankly, a lot of the perp games releases, like the one that I'm playing right now, Vertigo 2, have suffered from some really bad performance issues. So hope that's not the case with Madison VR. It's unfortunate with the timing with Vertigo 2. I never really got to share my thoughts on this game completely. And, you know, I was excited to come back from vacation and be like, this game is awesome. Look what this one developer did. This game is huge. There's so much variety. And then, you know, it's been kind of a shit show since launch. There's been just all these things. The good news is they have been rapidly patching it. So hopefully they get it up and running, because let me tell you guys, if they can get these performance issues ironed out and soon, this game is freaking fantastic. It is probably one of my favorite first-person shooters I've ever played, just from the creative standpoint, from, you know, the art direction. And there are moments of this game that do look good and stuff. And but yeah, I was really excited to like debut this, my thoughts on the game and stuff on my top 20 list, and then it became kind of like a mess. And I don't know, just hold off a little bit longer on this game. But the second they get this game ironed out, and it seems like when it launched, they released a day one patch, which broke some things, and it's been an unfortunate situation, because this is otherwise a phenomenal game, and it's highly replayable, with New Game Plus, different endings and stuff, I think, and just some amazing moments in it, and awesome boss fights. Again, with the boss fights, there's also a boss rush mode where, like, if you want to, there is a chapter select, but you can also just go back and just fight and choose just to fight the bosses. There's also mutators as well. I messed around with the mutators. There's big head mode. There is like God mode and infinite ammo, but I didn't do that. But I did mess with like randomized enemies and all this stuff to really make this game not only super fun, but super replayable as well. For those that have played Counter-Strike back in the day as well, and I guess if you played Pavlov, you're familiar with this mode now too. But there's also like a random gun mutator where like every 30 seconds you get a new gun in your hand, and that's just also super fun. So really, you know, I hope they get this straightened out soon, because this is just too good of a game to not have working well on the thing. It's really fun. But anyways, so maybe hold off just a little bit longer if you can for Vertigo 2. Or I did notice that it seems like, I don't know, there is an inconsistency with the frame rate issues and stuff. So like, I don't know. It depends on how much it bothers you. You might be able to get through it, but yeah, I would see. Hey, Dizzle with the Canadian donation. Thank you so much. $2.79 donation. Appreciate you. Says Sony should port Sackboy games to VR. Yeah. I've always liked the Sackboy games, the Little Big Planet stuff. So looking forward to, I would definitely like to check that out. Of course, this is the year, man. This has got to be the year. This is the year that I originally predicted we would get an announcement for Astro Bot. It's got to happen this year. I'm hoping it is an end of the year release that we get this little guy down here, Astro Bot himself. It's been 3 years. It's been 3 years since Astro's Playroom came out, and I'm really hoping that this is when we get the announcement this year. Obviously, with everything going on at Sony, them being kind of a mess right now, it could change a little bit, but I really, this is when I originally predicted we would get Astro Bot. So it's got to be this year, man. It's got to happen. They'd be crazy not to be. If I was Sony, I'd be milking the living hell out of Astro Bot in every single way. They need to learn how to take care of their IPs and stuff. They're especially ones that the cost of making Astro Bot has got to be way less than making something like The Last of Us or God of War or Spider-Man. You're not talking. This is exactly, if they're trying to reduce the amount that they spend on IPs and stuff, Astro Bot is a great way to do it. Look how Nintendo is doing. Like, they're basically they have the weakest hardware, but they have the power of retaining their IPs, and they just make good decisions. You can make really good games without spending $300 million is what I'm saying here. Imzadi says, poor AJ, always the optimist. Not always, but I want Astro Bot so bad. And I don't think Astro Bot would be like the biggest system seller. But I do think it's just an important game to have, period. And it's a good, everybody, a good game for everybody. I love shooters. I love horror games. But we need to expand a little bit. We need to broaden this a little bit beyond just horrors and shooter games. They're fantastic, but they're a little overplayed at this point. We need some variety to mix things up. Keep shooters fresh. And you can do that by making Astro Bot and RPGs. All right, before we move on to the next thing, I want to let's see here. Your Long Shadows agrees with me. Thank you, Your Long Shadows. There's two of us. Who else? Who else we got? Astro Bot. This is the year of the Astro. Okay. Oh, Bad Robo says, let's hope Max Mustard will be good. Yeah, Max Mustard looks pretty decent. I don't know if I like the character and the design and the style and stuff as much as Astro Bot. Of course not, but it, it looks okay. There's a couple, there's Mixture, which looks kind of cool. Right now, all we got is Moss. All we got is good old Quill holding down the fort right now, which, by the way, if you haven't bought Moss, like I said in my top 20, it'd be criminal to overlook. Criminal. Go play one of the richest VR games out there. Moss is fantastic. Hello, Quill. You can spend the rest of the show by me here. Hey, Dizzled. Thank you so much. Another donation says, pizza on me if you can pick the Astro Bot 2 month. I thought, I was thinking that we'll get Astro Bot quarter 4 is what I'm thinking. That was what I originally thought. I said, I think quarter 4, 2024 makes the most sense for me. Hello, GC. Here to terrorize and try to destroy our lovable, likable. What do you got against lovable, likable video game characters that are memorable and other Ables? Why do you hate cute, happy things so much? We just want to be happy, okay? Bad Robo says Ven is okay too. Yeah, Ven didn't really live up to my hopes and expectations. Kind of turned out to be just a mid game. Not bad, but just mid. Which is unfortunate. Because I really want more platformers, but good ones. Good, rich ones like Moss and Astro Bot. Oh my God. GC13 with the $25 donation. She literally is paying money to make me say awful things. She says money to get AJ to say Moss and Astro Bot suck. Happy New Year, AJ. There. I hope you got your money's worth. Moss and Astro Bot suck. There you go. Get your full money's worth. Now she's going to clip this and post it online and ruin my reputation forever. And she's like, look, AJ will say anything for money. Oh, this is the beginning of the downfall. It's the beginning of the end for me. No, I love platformers. I think, again, there's a little bit of an overrepresentation of shooters and horror games and roguelikes on PSVR right now, or VR in general. And we need some variety, man. Is all we need. I'm with you, Salvador. Salvador's got the right idea. Astro Kart, Astro Brawl, Astro Shooter, Astro Tennis. Okay, I mean, maybe a little overboard there, but like I totally agree with Astro Bot 2 and Astro Kart, or even better, Astro Party. I'd be totally down with that. Just totally steal from Mario Party. But anyways, guys. All right, so Bulletstorm. Woo! Time to talk about Bulletstorm. Oh lordy. Okay, so we're gonna just do I'm not gonna do a really long review on this. This is just gonna be my first impressions of Bulletstorm VR while I play some of this lovely footage here. Actually, the show is a little delayed because there was an update that dropped for it today, and so I wanted to jump back in, and I jumped back in, and I was like, oh, did it fix this a little bit? And then I was like, no, I don't know what the update did. So I can't tell you what the update did. I do miss the days being able to check and see like the update notes, the patch notes. Obviously, maybe they released it, what the notes were, what the patch notes were somewhere, but I didn't see them. I didn't have time. But Bulletstorm came out today, and this is, of course, one of the bigger announcements of recent time. It originally was announced, I think, at the same time as the Meta Quest 3, and unfortunately, nobody likes it. No, I'm not going to say that. This game is okay. It's below, actually, no, it's not really okay. It's kind of below average, actually. It's not the most horrible, terrible, worst thing I've ever played. No, it's not even close to that, actually. And there actually is some fun to be had in this game. But this is a really, really bad port of an otherwise pretty fun game. I played the original back in the day a little bit. Everyone keeps saying Polish Paul liked that. You just told me that Polish Paul had a sponsored video. So of course he liked it. I was not sponsored. They offered me a sponsored thing, and I said no, but I'll review it for free. No charge at all. Just give me a review key so I can play it. And they got me a review key like late last night, so I didn't get much time to play it. But I've played the first 2 hours of it, and that's enough to kind of get some thoughts on it and share with you today. But yeah, I'm giving you some footage. There's actually some bad footage right there, but then there's some good footage coming up. But yeah, man, I played some of the original Bulletstorm back in the day, and what I liked about it was the gameplay. The gameplay was pretty fun. I also liked the art design a good bit. The art style of this game kind of reminds me, I'm a big fan of Contra, and a lot of Contra games, and they had this kind of like, they have this kind of, I don't want to say cyberpunk, but they do have like a sci-fi kind of look to them a little bit, and this game kind of had the same. And by the way, this game on the flat version is beautiful. I jumped into they've got the head-to-head edition or something like that that's on PlayStation Plus Premium. I don't have Premium anymore, but when I did, I said, let me check this out while this is on here to kind of refresh my memory. And yeah, when this game came out, nobody really knew about it because it came out like right around the same time as Skyrim, and it's like, yeah, that's like a once in a generation game. Good luck with that. And but yeah, so first off, man, you can see here there's these 3D cinema cutscenes or whatever, and they look pretty bad. There's an option to put them in stereoscopic 3D, and I think it's a cool idea, actually. Like, I feel like this game, as a VR game, I think there's a lot of good ideas. I feel like this game was a good fit for VR. And I feel like a lot of the ideas they had when making this, they had good ideas, but the execution of it is unfortunately pretty poor. And we got a pretty poor quality port. But as you can see, like, this game has some fun and exciting moments. It's got some action adventure. I've been avoiding most of what everyone's been talking about it, so that I could just form my own thoughts. But I did hear Brian at one point say, or I think Brian as well as other people, that it's too easy, that it's boring, things like that. So I actually am playing on the hardest difficulty. And from what I can tell you, like, if you were to ask me, does that help? Well, playing on the hardest difficulty is basically the same as playing most games on normal. So if you want normal difficulty, play it on the hard mode, because that's pretty much what it felt like. I only died one time in 2 hours, and that one time was really because I made a mistake and messed up something and was bumbling around. Other than that, it is very easy to stay alive and stuff, and it's not super challenging. There's not a ton of strategy or whatever. It's just your basic stuff, cover shooting. But I think the biggest issue with this game, of course, is definitely the quality of the port. Unfortunately, Incuvo did not learn their lesson from Green Hell, and they said, hey, that worked out great, let's do it again, that'll go well, right? Wrong. This port is just not good. The graphically, it is not very good looking. It is ugly. It is a very, very ugly game, which is a shame because it actually is beautiful on the original version, and it has a really, really nice art style that if this was polished up, it would look really, really nice. But unfortunately, it doesn't. It looks kind of similar to like how Green Hell did at launch, minus the blur. There's lots of aliasing. Like, so this game has fine, like the resolution is fine and the frame rate is fine. On PSVR2, it doesn't, at least so far, it does not have any frame rate or resolution issues. The problem is it has aliasing, it has pop-in, it has low-res textures. It's got basically everything else is not good. I think you can even see in the video that I'm playing here, you see like stuff popping in and out. And it's just a very, very poorly optimized game on PSVR2, which it really, really could have handled more. Yeah, and then they do these cinematic cutscenes, where it's got the little, it's got the 3D thing. I like the idea of, hey, let's put this, if we're going to have a cinema screen here, let's make it 3D. It's just nice, man. Like I said, it's a nice idea. But my, oh my, the 3D cutscenes in this look awful. The 3D looks nice, but quality wise, I mean, they're so washed out. Have you ever left a Coke can in the sun, like for like a week or a couple days or something? Have you ever where it, like, it loses the color and it turns like yellow? That's what the 3D cutscenes in this look like. They look like they were left out in the sun and got like, it looks like overexposed film or something, where it's like the colors are all weird looking and washed out and there's some yellow tint on them and it looks burnt. But yeah. Oh, Jeep, real quick. Jeep SRT says VR Rock lens or Hans VR. VR Rock. I use VR Rock every day. I have the Hans as well. Those are the only two that I can speak of. I can't speak for any other ones. But highly recommend VR Rock lenses. They're thinner. They have the magnets that clip on. They're amazing. You have to get some lenses for your PSVR2. And use the code AJPSVR when you get those VR Rock lenses. Yeah, so gameplay wise, The gunplay, they did have adaptive trigger support here, which is kind of nice. The adaptive triggers feel decent. So that's one nice thing. It's just, like I said, it's just such a poorly optimized games. It's such a poorly optimized game. It doesn't look good. It looks really ugly. It's not like super buggy. It's a little bit buggy with some of the audio stuff. And the gameplay itself is okay. That's like the one kind of redeeming factors here. I would say the some of the gameplay, I think, at least playing on hard mode, the gameplay is like, you know, it's kind of like a fun mindless shooter. It's not too bad, actually. Nowhere near as good as the original, but and then it has some exciting moments. It also has like some really nice sets. Unfortunately, you don't get to really enjoy those sets to the fullest because it's such a low quality version. But yeah, in so many cases, like, you know, this is just like, it's just everything kind of went wrong, and they delayed the game at one point, and I'm just like, you know, this game was originally supposed to launch in December. I guess it is only 1 month later, so maybe they just had bugs and stuff fixed. But I was really hoping that with them delaying this game, that it meant, or was this game originally supposed to come out in October? I can't remember now. I think it was December. Yeah, it was December. You know, with them delaying this game, I was really hoping, crossing my fingers, that they learned their lesson from the launch of Green Hell and actually, you know, polished it up a little bit. I think with some polish, this game could actually be pretty decent. It'd still maybe crawl back to like 7 out of 10 territory, maybe. But again, I really like the art style of this game, and I like a lot of the style of it, and it's just to me, it feels like being inside of a Contra game or something, and I really, really like that. It's got some pretty good weapons. And yeah, it's just, we don't have like a Borderlands 2 for PSVR2 just yet. And this is very close to like at least like style wise, art style wise, whatever. It's kind of close to that, but unfortunately, due to the lack of optimization for PSVR2, literally the only thing that feels tailor-made, for PSVR2 is that they included adaptive triggers. Other than that, I'm like, this is, you know, there's nothing super impressive about it. It's just kind of ugly, and it doesn't look great. At least it's like an okay shooter, and it does run smoothly so far. And that's about as best as I got for you. Otherwise, it's a lot of bad cinema 3D cutscenes and whatnot. But again, this isn't like the most horrible game I've ever played. I think it's okay. But I really, really would have liked a better quality port of this. This is not ideal for this, but so far from my first impressions, keep an eye on this one for later. Definitely avoid it for now. Maybe if it gets either a deep sale or some patches, then maybe start taking a look at it. But at this time, we have way too many other games. I'm sure you've all got huge backlogs to get through, and I would just hold off for now until then. But there's, you know, I don't know. We'll see. We're still waiting for them to patch Green Hell, which apparently Green Hell is the next patch is supposedly going to be some big, significant visual improvements. So this is just another case of one of these games that just wasn't ready. They should have just delayed the PSVR version and just polished it up and then released it. But this is another one of those instances where they just release it and then polish it later, and it's just not a good practice. And yeah, I don't think developers that do this really should get your money. Yep, another wait for a patch game. Stuff like the kicking mechanics and the whip, the laser whip on the arm, those feel fine. The whip is kind of cool, but again, nothing super special. It doesn't feel super polished. It feels just very, I don't know. It's kind of janky. But yeah, unfortunate, but you know what? Again, we've got so many games that you need to get caught up on. There's maybe some games from the sale today that you need to play and pick up. Oh, there's definitely some. And with so much other stuff to play right now, just hold off. And that is my first impressions of Bulletstorm. I am going to maybe try to go back and finish it at some point, but nothing special so far. Not terrible, not horrible, but also not very good. It's below average is what I would say. All right, now that brings us to our big news of the day besides Bulletstorm and besides the sale that we're going to cover right after this. We got to give a quick big shout out to Skydance Interactive, who made, of course, the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners IP franchise. IP, one of the greatest VR games ever made. Somebody get Tiff out of here. I don't want her to hear me saying all this good stuff about her, about Skydance right now. This is too much love and positivity. Somebody ban her. No, but we recently got news. This comes from Upload VR. Broke the news from a press kit that I did not receive, by the way. But apparently there was a press kit that says The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners has grossed nearly $100 million in revenue. And this is huge news, man. First of all, congrats to Skydance Interactive, and thank you for the wonderful, wonderful game. On my top 20 list, I think this was number 4. It was very high up there, or it was top 5 for sure. But this is, I still consider this to be one of the best VR games ever made. And they're out here competing with AAA devs. I mean, what I love about this, again, take Bulletstorm as an example, take some of these other failed releases as an example. When you take the time and polish up the game, bring lots of content, bring lots of good ideas, you can be profitable. You can make money. You can grow the industry. And games like this help grow the industry. And they're super important. Games that are built, that come from smaller studios, that are built from the ground up for VR, that are competing with AAA games, AAA VR games, AAA hybrids. This was a contender versus Half-Life Alyx the same year it came out. Half-Life Alyx, which is widely considered to be, you know, one of the best VR games, if not the best VR game ever made. But alongside that, it was competing with like, you know, Resident Evil and Iron Man and stuff. And like, it's just, this is proof that, like I said in the beginning of the show, man, it's almost as if really not releasing a broken, janky, rushed, shitty port can actually make some money in the process too. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? No, but it seriously goes to show how important it is. And what makes me excited about this, not only, I mean, this is so, it just makes me really happy because there are rarely studios that deliver games this well. And you know, in terms of content, it's a 13-15 hour campaign for both games. The amount of content, the amount of depth, the amount of immersive features that it has is absolutely insane. And I loved both Chapter 1 and 2. I thought Chapter 2 was a great sequel, and it put a nice little, if you, for those who have completed Chapter 2, they know. What a nice ending that was to this. So this is a game that's going to be pretty much a timeless classic. This is going to always be considered one of the best VR games ever made. It's always going to be mentioned, no matter how old it becomes. It's always going to be mentioned within the top games because it's just so far ahead of everybody else in so many different ways. Yeah, man. And the Walking Dead series is coming back, so this game's going to get growing popularity again, maybe. But no, this is just such an amazing game, and it's awesome to see that developers that invest so much time, so much money, so much resources into a VR game can actually turn a profit. And let's be honest here. The actual reason for the success, I was going to start this off with a joke here, and I totally screwed it up, but okay. Now that I'm done, now that Tiff's gone, I could say, guys, we all know the reason this game was successful, and that's because I covered it day one. So, I'm not saying I'm directly responsible for this success, but, I think I'm a little responsible for its success. And, $100 million is a lot of money. And, Skydance, if, I covered this game day one, I worked through all of your PR nightmare bullshit and still covered it, still enjoyed it, still gave it praise. So I'm just saying, $100 million is a lot of money. If you want to throw some my way, I should get some of what I deserve, is all I'm saying. And I meant to say that at the beginning, so it doesn't sound as good after saying all that. But anyways, Nix, what is up, dude? Says, is Chapter 2 better than the first? Chapter 2 is better than the first in some ways. I mean, I think you should start with the first one. Chapter 2 kind of expands on the first, and it introduces some new things. It introduces new areas. I think the story in Saints and Sinners 2 is a little bit better. The way it wraps up the story, there's some really epic moments in it. I love the night mode that's in it. And of course, the chainsaw, baby. Y'all still never sent me a chainsaw, by the way. What's up with that? No, but Chapter 2 is, I thought, absolutely incredible. You probably should start with Chapter 1. A lot of people like starting with seem to definitely like Chapter 1, maybe even slightly more, but yeah, Chapter 2 is kind of hard to just dive right into, but if you've played through the first, which I played through the first, I played through all the DLC, the Aftershocks DLC, I completed that. There's a lot of content in there, and I did basically everything there was to see. And then yeah, Chapter 2 actually has better, what I like about the sequel, there's new weapons that are really, really sweet. Like you see from the footage here. There's melee gloves where you can punch shit. There's a rocket launcher or a grenade launcher, which is really nice. There's some really good other weapons. And then there's the chainsaw, like I said before, with dynamic slicing. And you can literally, I mean, I just remembered this when I knew that Saints and Sinners 2 was going to be special, was when I took a chainsaw and I sliced a zombie at an angle, and his leg sliced off at the angle that I sliced it. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, that is next gen shit right there. Really, really awesome. But yeah, man, congratulations to Saints and Sinners. Other developers watching this podcast, which is probably none. But if you happen to be a developer and happen to be watching right now, take note, man. Take note. If you gotta, I know it's not always the easiest thing, but if you gotta delay your game to make sure it's polished up, delay it. If your game doesn't have enough content, delay it. Make it bigger, make it better. If you do this, these are the things that are gonna help VR and help yourself in the process. Unfortunately, we're still trying to shake off this kind of industry-wide problem where it's like games are just like, it's like they're doing all the work, all the planning, all the programming, all the designing, everything. And then they get out to launch and it's not finished and they're like, well, just release it. It's like, guys, you spent years of your lives. Why would you waste it? Why would you waste it? It wastes your time. It wastes our time and money. Nobody wins in this situation. Be more like Saints and Sinners developers. Be more like this game and these developers. The other thing too is that these guys are making my most anticipated PSVR2 game. I'm sure many of yours as well. And that is, of course, Behemoth. Let me get some Behemoth footage up here real quick. what I love to see here is, you know, the Skydance made the really difficult decision. There might be some audio here for a second. So if so, bear with me. But trailers, PSVR2, I don't think I have much here. I may only have the cinematic reveal. Give me 1 second to get this audio out of the way. Okay. Here we go, baby. These guys are also releasing Behemoth, which is scheduled to come out later this year. It was originally supposed to come out late last year. Guys, oh, Behemoth. I cannot wait for this game. This has a lot of the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners team on it. If not all of them, I don't know. Maybe if they're here, they can kind of say. But guys, I mean, talk about me being, you know, I said I love horror games, I love shooters, but I really need something different here. This is what I need, guys. This is my number one most anticipated game of 2024. Basically for all the reasons that Saints and Sinners was. I mean, this, you know, this game's going to be incredibly immersive, incredibly some good physics-based combat. RPG, it's going to have RPG elements. It's going to have survival elements, I think. It's like a Skyrim, Shadow of the Colossus, giant monsters, giant beasts. This is my kind of game right here. This is everything I love. That Souls captures that Souls energy. This is like, I'm really hoping that this is kind of like our Skyrim, Dark Souls, and Shadow of the Colossus VR game that we're going to get this year, because that would be incredible. But I love the mechanics that they show off in this cinematic trailer, just the CGI trailer still. But I'm honestly glad this game got delayed, because I'd rather it be delayed than be bad at launch. But I cannot wait for this. Behemoth, man. Behemoth is, I've got high expectations for this. Yeah, really can't wait, man. Hope it's another generational VR game like Saints and Sinners was, because that was fantastic. Macho times 3 with the donation, thank you so much, says, I pray Behemoth incorporates everything good from Saints and Sinners. I'm sure it will. Actually, we had the PSVR awards show recently over on PSVR Without Parole, and luckily we got to hear from some of the developers there. Mr. Peter Ackman was there, who is a legend and a genius, and he's just an awesome dude. And he had his sword. Look, we're sword buddies, Peter. Can we be friends? Can we hang out sometime? I've got a sword too. That means we could be friends, right? But he had his sword there. But yeah, this is going to have some, I imagine Behemoth is going to have some really good physics-based sword fighting combat, which will be really cool, really visceral combat. Once again, and I think they already said, I mean, they've already basically confirmed that that's what they're aiming for, is, you know, another really immersive, ambitious VR title, similar to the way Walking Dead Saints and Sinners was. But of course, this is more of a brutal, dark, medieval fantasy thing going on here. So super awesome. Cannot wait to see this, man. All right. Scott Dracula says, I like everything but the snow. What's wrong with snow? Dude, snow in VR looks so good. Snow in video games. I've always loved snow in video games. But in VR, Skyrim kind of made me love snow in VR. Let's see here. Long Shadows pointing out that it's a CGI trailer. Yeah, I know we're tired of CGI stuff for flats, but not too much, not much to see high quality trailers wise for VR. Yeah. Also says, I'm really hoping for some stunning naturescapes. I'm with you there. Yeah, some nice level design and stuff. Some beautiful level design would be nice. Salvador says, if they team up with Sin Studio, I don't think they need to. I think if there were two developers that you don't need to pair, would be Sin Studio and Skydance Interactive, because both of them totally nailed their physics-driven combat. If anything, they need to help other developers that suck at it. Those are two of the best physics-based sword fighting games out there. It would still be cool though. Let's see here. Jason Voorhees says, I'm going to be pissed if they announce it's a roguelike. I would too, man. Luckily, I think they've said that it's going to be an RPG. Or just an action adventure. Maybe I'm guessing, if I had to guess, an action adventure with some RPG elements is what I would guess. Ooh, Village Snow. Yeah. Resident Evil Village. A beautiful, beautiful snowy game. So I jumped back into Resident Evil Village lately, and yeah, oh my God. That village, just being in the center of that town or whatever, is so pretty. So freaking pretty. Macho ×3 again with the donation. Thank you so much, my friend. Says, hold up, UK better AJ. I made name ×3 because of you, Macho. Okay. Macho. There you go. Gotcha, homie. Gotcha. Your name was cut off. I can't see what it's like real estate procrastinating. Yeah, your name. Okay. I can see it from another place. I was looking at my thing and it was cut off, so I couldn't see it there. Forgive me, Macho. Ooh, Old Dart says, don't forget the snow tracks in GT7. Oh, dude, I love those snow tracks in Gran Turismo. They're way better than the dirt tracks. A lot of people criticize the dirt tracks, and I think they're rightfully so. I actually think the dirt tracks are really fun to drive on, but they're really hard to compete on and beat and win on. There's like just it's not well balanced in that regard. I guess it's balanced, but it's just really, really hard to master. But the snow tracks in GT7 are absolutely amazing. Dan Kiefer, that's a good question, says, where is SSX VR? That is a good question. Where is our, I want the VR skater people to make VR snowboarder, because VR skater is fantastic. All right, guys. So that is it for talking about this. Just wanted to give some praise. Listen, I wanted to start the year on a high note, bring some positivity. Don't worry about some of these releases. Just hold off of these bad releases for now. There's plenty of other stuff to play. And wanted to show that, with all these, the games industry layoffs and horrible things happening around, I just wanted to, point a light over to Skydance Interactive saying, hey man, look, these things happen. There's going to be more that happen. It's part of the industry. It's part of most big corporate companies that stuff like this happens. It's unfortunate. You never like to see it. But in many cases, there's also, some really good success stories and some positive things, positive takeaways, like the legends over at Skydance making kick-ass games, and got another one on the way. All right, so it is time to get to the New Year's sale on PSN, and we're going to be taking a look at the PS Store. As always, I'm going to run through each game. There's not a whole bunch of games. I think there's maybe 20, 23, something like that. And I'm going to give you the thumbs up, thumbs down, quick thoughts on whether you need to play and buy something yet. Let's see here. Behemoth, I'm gonna Headbite, I'm gonna keep an eye on your question because it's about to come up, because we got to get to this here. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and close this, close Dead Hook. We've got the sale. This is the deals that are on the New Year's sale right now, going on right now. Let's real quick. The first game, of course, is Resident Evil Village. Now, this is the gold edition. Okay, only the gold edition is on sale right now. But guess what? Resident Evil Village is $19.99 without PlayStation Plus. That's just $19.99. And guys, remember, give me your thumbs up, thumbs down, your thoughts on the games as well. Guys, Resident Evil Village was my #1 rated PSVR2 game on my top 20 list. Not an easy decision. It was really between that, Gran Turismo 7, and Resident Evil 4. The reason that I picked Village is because, you know, like I said in the thing, it doesn't have the depth or replay value. I think ultimately Resident Evil 4 kind of is the better game, but as a VR game, that's where I was like, from start to finish, I was completely blown away with Resident Evil Village, the way it looked, the way it feels, the way it plays, the way it was presented. It was designed with VR in mind, and that gave it a big advantage. Yeah, I mean, there's moments in many of these non-VR to VR converted games, the AAA hybrids. There has been, there always will be a lot of moments where there's a cinematic moment that takes place, and rather than keeping you in first person, it's going to just pop up like a third person screen, a cinema screen, things like that. There were moments that I was like playing Village and I'm like, okay, it's going to take me out of third person. It's going to show up on the screen. No, Village straight up keeps you in first person during those cutscenes. And there's a couple moments, especially there's one in my mind in particular. There's one big, the boss before the final boss. There's one moment where they grab you, they throw you around, they hurl you across the rooms and all these things. And I was like, I can't believe that they kept this in first person, and they did. And things like that are the reason, the immersion are the reason. Now, ultimately, Resident Evil 4 is going to be the one that you probably get more hours out of, that it's more fun to replay. It's got some better character design, better. I like the enemies in Resident Evil 4 over Village, but I do like the boss battles in Village more, which was another reason it edged it out. And I do like the boss battles were incredible. I do like all the immersive mechanics. The boss battles are insanely good in Resident Evil Village, so good. And of course, it has a lot of these, like I said, these cutscenes and stuff that they keep your body and stuff. There's also the inventory system where you grab it off your body, but they've added in the jackets. I really wish Resident Evil 4 added like lets you reach open into Leon's jacket and pull out something. Get to see that nice jacket he wears. I want one of those jackets. It's a dope jacket. But yeah, like all these little immersive things. So long story short, guys, 2 thumbs up for Resident Evil Village on this sale. An absolute must buy, a must play, and a stunning game from start to finish. Again, you'll probably end up going back to Resident Evil 4. You might even have a better time with 4. But the way that Village was executed was just perfection. It is everything that I dreamed of when I thought about, like, you know, being able to play flat games in VR. So big thumbs up for Resident Evil Village. What do we have next here? We've got Kayak VR Mirage. Yeah, Kayak VR Mirage is, wait, what is that not showing? Oh, I pressed the wrong thing. Sorry. Macho says, my favorite part in first person on RE8 was when Lady Dimitrescu, I forgot how to say her name, picks you up above her. She's so tall. The view up there is so nice. You get to see the best parts RE8 has to offer. Oh, you're such a dog, Macho. Let's see here. Oh, Headbite also says, too bad you can't use the walkie. Yeah, and let's see here. I'm just trying to catch up on any comments I might have missed. Again, first show back. I want to interact with you guys a bunch. It's been a while since we've had a chance to talk, so I want to, do my show and kind of talk with you guys a bit. Headbite finished Village 3 times, and I don't want to spend any more time running from Lady D. 3 runs. Y'all are obsessed with Lady D. Is a really cool character. I do like a lot of the characters in that too. But that boss fight, oh my God, that boss fight's so good. That was just mind blowing. Had my mind blown so many times playing Village. Still not played Village, says Scott. Not finished RE4 yet. Still not completely RE7. Loving RE in VR. Dude, yeah. I want every Resident Evil in VR. Absolutely. I want 2 and 7 next. And then 9 as well. I hope 9 gets support as well. But man, got 3 killer games in VR. All right, so like I said before, we've also got Kayak VR Mirage. I'm going to say hold off on Kayak for now. Maybe wait until they add some more content to it. If you just need like a good tech demo or something to show off people, like Kayak VR, I actually like it more than most people. The only problem is it's not a good game. Like, it's not a very fun game to play. It's a good tech demo. I love the graphics. I love the physics of it. But it's just not a fun game to play at the end of the day. And hopefully the developers did say that they'll be coming back and do that. So for now, hold off. There's just too many awesome games to play. You don't need to do it. Ancient Dungeon VR. Y'all have been asking me about Ancient Dungeon VR this whole time, all episode long. So now it is finally time to talk about it. Ancient Dungeon VR. It's fantastic. It's really, really good, especially if you're looking to change things up from your horror games or shooters. This is more of a melee combat style game. Do I have any footage? I can pull up maybe some footage real quick. A lot of people think the graphics look like Minecraft. I kind of disagree. Okay, I agree I'd say the geometry of Ancient Dungeon is kind of like Minecraft, but the look of it is a little bit different. To me, what I liked about Ancient Dungeon is, if you're a retro gamer like me, to me it feels like being within a retro game, a really, really fun retro game. And, it's got really sharp visuals. The art style is probably my least favorite part about that, but it makes up for it in so many other different ways. The gameplay is fun. If you like dungeon crawlers, it's a great dungeon crawler. It's got boss fights. It's got a cool game loop to it that's really fun and addicting. It's got good haptics, man. This is the one thing that you would not expect from this game. Is that Ancient Dungeon, one of the biggest surprise is the haptics in the game are really good. And there'll be like vines hanging from the ceiling, and you slice those vines. Not only will it slice those vines and like at the angle that you slice them at, but there's good haptics, and the way it feels is really good. It is a quality game. So for $15, $15.99, $16, I give a big thumbs up to Ancient Dungeon VR. Now, it's not going to be for everybody. But if you're a retro gamer, or you like dungeon crawlers and you like sword fighting and melee combat and things like that, yes, huge, huge thumbs up. Big, giant thumbs up. It is a great game. I have a lot more that I need to play for it, though. So I couldn't tell you everything about it. But from the couple hours I've played so far, I really, really enjoyed it. And I want to play some more. I've been dying to play more, actually. And it is a roguelike, but it feels more like a dungeon crawler than a roguelike. All right, next we've got Red Matter 1 for $14.99. Easy, yes. What's awesome, like, hold off buying Bulletstorm. Don't buy Bulletstorm right now. And you can literally buy like 2 or 3 of these games from this sale that are much better, and spend less than what you would pay for Bulletstorm right now, or some of these overpriced games. Big thumbs up to Red Matter. It is an amazing sci-fi puzzle adventure, about 4 to 5 hours, so it's not super long, but it is an awesome game. And then afterward, you need to play Red Matter 2, which is like a almost benchmark VR title at this point, for its graphics and graphical fidelity. So big thumbs up to Red Matter 2 if you're in the mood for a sci-fi puzzle game. Next, we've got Synth Riders Remastered Edition. Again, I'm making y'all spend lots of money. Synth Riders is awesome on PSVR2. It's the best version of the game that I've played. It's better than the Quest version. It's better than the PSVR1 version. It's got really good haptics, really great soundtrack. It's super fun. You get a good little bit of active exercise. You get to dance around a little bit. I absolutely love Synth Riders. I love synthwave. I love metal. And it's got probably the best soundtrack next to Pistol Whip, I'd say, of all these. It's also got fun multiplayer that's like Mario Kart. Also, the experiences, man. You have to experience the experience in Synth Riders because those are amazing. They're visually, it's like a super awesome trip to go on with the experiences there. So big thumbs up to that. Next we got Cactus Cowboy. I haven't played this, so I'm gonna skip this. Oh my god, you guys. Oh wait, no, I actually went down too far, sorry. Next we've got Crisis Brigade 2 Reloaded for $10.49. If you need an arcade shooter, if you want like a Time Crisis style game, then yes. But keep in mind, this is very much just like, you know, it's like a Time Crisis that's inspired by several different action movies and stuff. I don't think Crisis Brigade is a must-have. It's not a must-play. It's not a rush. You need to be in a rush to play it. But if you need something to play, it's definitely good and would get the thumbs up. I actually think it's really fun. It's got good haptics and good arcade-style gameplay, things like that. So if you need an arcade shooter, which nobody, I think, really needs an arcade shooter, maybe, but again, right now it's not the best time because there's just so much other stuff to play right now. So, Racket Fury is $26.99. I'm gonna say no, and because that game was also like $10 recently, or it was like $9 recently, and if you wanted that, that was your chance to get it. If you missed it, oh well, no big deal. But a good, solid game overall. Nothing amazing, but it's a good ping pong game. Next, we've got Alvo is $14.99. I haven't dropped into Alvo in a minute. I don't know how it's doing. So I'm going to hold off for now because I don't know how the player base is for that. I imagine it's not doing as well as Pavlov or Breachers. But Alvo's like a solid game. I've always liked it. I don't know. Something feels like it's always at the wrong place at the wrong time. But it's a decent game. It's okay. Next we've got Brain Beats. Absolutely not. I don't know if I've even played this game, but I don't even want to touch it with the 10-foot pole, and I don't think you should either. Cactus Cowboy, like I said, I haven't played. Runner, baby. Runner is $11.24, and you can save 5% more with PlayStation Plus. Big 2 thumbs up for Runner, man. Oh my god, I love this game so much. It is one of my favorite hidden gems. At some point, I'm going to do a hidden gems video. I've actually got a list of videos I'm going to be doing. Hidden gems is one of them, and you better damn be sure. I didn't say that right. You better damn well believe that Runner's going to be on that list. Runner, I think Runner definitely falls into that Ancient Dungeon, Light Brigade, excellent hidden gem category. It's such an amazing game, especially another one if you're into retro games that you'll really, really like. To me, Runner feels like playing. Well, first of all, it's an action shooter on a motorcycle, which is really, really cool. It's got a secret Final Fantasy VII level. It's got great boss fights. It's got sick music I really want to play Runner some more too. Like, I've beaten it. I've probably spent about 7 hours to 10 hours with Runner, and I still want to go back and play it. Mark Yo, buy Runner if you haven't yet. What is up, dude? Mark Yo, if you need some some good game recommendations after a crappy day. I'm sorry to hear that work sucked today, but hopefully now that you're here, your day sucks just a little less. Guys, I love Runner. Absolutely SNES vibes, first person motorcycle shooter. What's not to love? Seriously, that game, I love that game so much. And I think you should buy the game at full price. And if it's on sale, 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, man. It is worth the risk. It is worth the risk. I think you absolutely have to. Oh, you got the Runner from the devs. Nice. Oh, and by the way, Runner also comes with a visualizer and a novel, a visual novel, which I didn't watch because I don't care about visual novels. But it does come with like a trippy little soundtrack thing. And I love the star. I forget what the name of the level is, but it's called like Starship something, I think. Star Launch, something. That level has amazing music. So good. Yeah, man. Yeah, Runner has it comes with actually 3 apps. It comes with Runner the game, it comes with a visual novel, and it comes with a visualizer, a music visualizer. You can only play the Runner soundtrack on it, but Runner has a really good soundtrack, so it is worth checking out. All right, anyways, what else we got here? We've got Colossal Cave. I have not played this yet. There's actually another version of it down here for $14.99. I haven't played this yet. I'm interested in it, but from what I've been seeing from it and heard about it, I'm not in any rush to play it right now. So I'm going to say hold off. Next, we've got Star Tenders, Intergalactic Bartending. I'm not a big fan of this game. I'm not a big fan of the style of game, which is like this. It's basically Job Simulator without as much humor and variety. It's basically if Job Simulator was cut down to only making drinks. I'm not a fan of the game. I'm sure some people might like it. You could do worse. It's not terrible, but it's also not that good. I'm going to say no. Next, we've got Cave Digger 2, Dig Harder. $12.49. Actually, not a bad price. I think there is a time and place for Cave Digger to pick up Cave Digger. I just think there's too many other good games right now that are far better. And so I'm going to say hold off for now again. Maybe if you really need like a Western fix or something, it's not really that bad, but it's not that good either. It's a very average game, I would say. It does have some cool things about it, though. Next, we've got Awesome Asteroids for $5.59. Oh, with PlayStation Plus, you get another 25% off. Really? Save 25% more? What is that? That brings Awesome Asteroids to dirt cheap. I'm actually, if you have a HOTAS controller, I'm going to say yes. If you have a HOTAS, you definitely should pick this up because I think it's the only game that supports the HOTAS right now. Also, the eye-tracked turret gun is pretty cool. I like the way they implemented the eye-tracked turret gun pretty good. So if you have a HOTAS controller, thumbs up to Awesome Asteroids. Next we have Knock is $14.99. I've heard that there's been some really good updates for this game. I was actually really, really excited about this game, and I was really disappointed because it has no depth. It has no single player mode. It's designed to be only online, and you can only unlock stuff and earn stuff in the game. Well, you can play it single player, which I actually liked. But you can't earn any XP, so you can't unlock anything. So you're basically not playing single player. There's no purpose in playing single player. I've heard that there's some new modes for it. Matt Vegan, by the way, says he loved Cave Digger and he platinumed it. Nice, man. Good to hear. Good to hear. You're crazy, Macho. I think Knock is okay, but I don't think that there's much of a player base for it, and um, I don't I don't know. I'm gonna say no for now, unfortunately. I like Knock, but I think the lack of a player base kills it when it's designed to be played online. I think that is a awful decision. I think you could have made a really fun single player game instead of trying to make a competitive sports game. I think you could have made a really, really fun, charming game with that art style and that thing, and kind of, you know, I don't know. But they tried to rip off Rocket League, and it just didn't really work for me. And I love Rocket League. All right. We've also got Cave Digger, $4.99. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I respect Cave Digger. I actually respect both games. The second game is definitely better than the first one. Unfortunately, Cave Digger suffers from not being very fun, and that's a problem. But I respect it for it being a really small indie game by a small team and does some cool VR-y things. Mark Smith says, I definitely like Rocket League more than Knock. Yeah, I think most people would agree. Next we've got, dude, Rocket League was fantastic. Next we've got Rezo Player for $13.59. With all the other games right now, pass. But I will say I was enjoying Rezo Player for it's kind of like, it's like sports target practice. Like it's like sports training. If you're in the mood for sports training, I got a hell of a workout playing it. So for that, if you want a fitness game, it's a good fitness game. It's just training though. So keep in mind, it's not like fully fledged game modes. It's literally like target practice and different training modes and stuff. So, but I thought it was pretty decent, in that regard for what it is, but still hold off for now. Fantavision 2020X, $13.99. No, it looks nice. It looks okay. But it's just, again, not fun. That's a problem. You Calligrapher, no. Broken. Death Game Show, I don't know. I haven't played it. Seeker My Shadow, I don't know. I haven't played it. A lot of these, the big winners here, guys. If you're gonna drop some cash, what I would recommend is Resident Evil Village, of course, Ancient Dungeon, Red Matter 2, Synth Riders Remastered, Crisis Brigade 2, sure, and Runner. Those are the big ones. If you can get, you can't get Awesome Asteroids for dirt cheap, which is nice. So maybe Awesome Asteroids too. But must-haves: Village, Ancient Dungeon, Red Matter, Synth Riders, and Runner. Those are my top picks for that. And with that, you guys, we have completed the first interactive chat of 2024. Thank you so much for being here with me and hanging out and having a good time, spreading the positivity, talking PSVR2 games. I've got a lot planned. Like I said, guys, I am back in full force. I've had a nice time to rest and relax. I am working on several edited videos. Give me some time, because I'm still shaking the rust off and it's going to take me some time to get through them. Guys, this Saturday, Viewer's Choice returns with episode 99. Viewer's Choice number 99, which has spanned across 3 or 4 years now. I did it every Saturday, letting you, the people, choose what I play. Good, bad, terrible, amazing, whatever. You decide. 8 o'clock Eastern. I will see you guys there. Cannot wait. And in the meantime, I'm going to have some other videos and surprises for you guys I'll be working hard at. Can't wait to share those with you. And as always, thank you once again to these lovely people, the Patreon supporters. Support me on Patreon/PSVR Underground. I'm hoping to have some more content there as well. But I'm also going to be focused on some videos to get the channel caught up. Thank you all to you who donated today. I appreciate you so much. Your support really helps me a ton. You have no idea. Thank you to all of you for just coming and hanging out and listening. If you're listening here right now in the chat, like Old Darth, Jason Voorhees, Flame, Hat the Game Cat, Imzadi, Your Long Shadows, all you lovely fine people, Markio, the Sleepless Night, Underground Game Cat. Thank you for just being here and hanging out, man. That's all you got to do. That's all that's required. Is just come and hang out, have a good time, talk VR games, talk PSVR2 games, and all the goodness. Again, if you want to use my promo code to get a discount on some nice little lenses for your PSVR2, you can go to vrrock.com or VRRock website and type in the code AJPSVR to get an exclusive discount. You have to get some lenses. They're amazing. And I like these over the Hans VR. Again, I haven't tried everything, but I use VRRock lenses every single day, and I love them. And I bought some for Jew as well. Let's see here. Guys, you all have a wonderful, wonderful night. I will see you on Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern for Viewer's Choice. We back, baby. We back. Can't wait. Happy 2024. Lots of exciting things coming out soon, man. Cannot wait. You guys are the best. Let's go ahead and get out of here with some Astro and some metal music. And as always, thank you, Mark Smith. Appreciate you, dude. Mad Vegan. Good night. Game Cat Behemoth. Can you leave a link? Yes, I will try to leave a link somewhere. Hold on 1 second. I'll get that for you. Let's see here. VR link. Let's see here. Referral link. 10% discount. Referral link. Copy link address. Here you go, man. Oh shit! I gotta bring this up so I can leave a comment here. If you want to use my exclusive 10% discount, let's see here. You can follow this link here that I'm about to drop in the chat at any given moment. Why can't I leave a freaking comment? There we go. And boom, there it is. All right. But I gotta get them shouting you guys out. Flame, Hat the Game Cat, good night to you. Dan Kiefer, Salvador, peace out. Macho says love the rock. GC13 says, I'm back. Did you mention that Moss sucks yet? Dang it, you made me say it again. How dare you? Mad _ vegan, Game Cat Behemoth, Guy Son Fistbump to you. Aceville says grab a hoodie, y'all. It's cold out there. That's right. You can also go grab a hoodie. No profit for me, just a great badass hoodie for you. Imzadi, thank you so much. Blue Jew the Underground, Game Cat Elite Name Squad in the house. This one. Salvador, my dude, Silver Nexus, Scott Dracula. I love that name and icon so much. Scott the PSVR, Game Cat for life. Thank you so much, my friend. Cheers, you the best. Much love to all of you. Hookworm. You guys, get ready for an awesome year. Let's go. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Have a wonderful